To get an idea of what marketing is all about, let's take a look at the diagram of the marketing concept. I ran across this in my doctoral program years ago by Churchill, Ford, and Walker in their Salesforce management textbook. The main aim of marketing is what's known as the marketing concept, which holds that organizations of all types should have at the forefront of their thinking, of their operations, what the customer or client, consumer, whatever you might call them, needs and or wants as far as they're seeking a problem solved, the benefit that they're looking for, that type of thing. And so the main focus is what is known as the consumer in this particular diagram by Churchill et al. Very often called the customer, as I mentioned. We're trying to find out what their needs are, what their wants are. And so we're asking different types of questions about what type of things will satisfy the need, where they would like that to be available, etc., as you see here. Part of the answer to this is in what is known as the 4 Ps. This is a mnemonic that a professor came up with, again, years ago, to represent the 4 main tools that marketers have to be able to compete with others trying to solve problems and serve the customer and meet their needs and wants. So the first of these is place, distribution channels, and that allows us to get the product or service where and when it's needed and in whatever format it is preferred in. Okay. The second thing is, and I'm following the same order of Churchill, Ford, and Walker in this, the second of the 4 Ps is product. It could be product or service or a combination of those. And that's driven by what is desired, what is the need and want, and what type of things that marketers do is how many of different lines products are in the product line, colors, styles, functionality, those types of things. And then they feed into the distribution channels to get them to the customer. So we have product and place. We have to let the consumer and others in the channel and others in our business know about what is available and when and where and how much it costs. And so we have promotion. And promotion programs, from personal selling to advertising and anything you can think of that gets the message out, not only goes to us as consumers, but also goes to channel partners to let them know about, perhaps prefer to carry our product instead of a competitor's product, for instance. And we may design a product but not manufacture it ourselves, and therefore we might have promotion toward a contract manufacturer, say, or some other product producer or service producer that we're promoting. The fourth and final of the 4 Ps is price. Price can be based on demand, costs, margins that we seek to achieve that are, say, typical for our industry, and we also have to keep an eye, even with all those things in mind, what the competition is doing. Because if they have something that the customer sees as very similar to our particular offering, but it's offered at a lower price because perhaps they have a lower cost structure to produce it, we have to have that in mind and adjust our price accordingly to be able to compete. There are things that marketers don't control, of course, and marketers have to pay attention to these. They may perhaps be able to influence it. Organizations might be able to influence, say, government regulation at different levels, what our competitors are doing, traditional structures for certain physical goods to be distributed, and anything non-marketing like production costs and things like that. We have to work with and try to influence all these different entities because, as you can see from the arrows, they affect everything. How do we find out about what's the best price and what type of place that the customer would like to purchase a product or service in? What types of range of product functionality are they seeking? And how do we know which is the best way to reach anybody we're trying to get to with our message about our offerings, with our promotion? We find out about those through marketing research. Quantitative marketing research is anything that's related to crunching numbers. You're running econometric models, perhaps based on your sales, perhaps based on a survey where you have a statistically significant sample of potential customers and you're trying to find out things by analyzing that data. Qualitative, usually early in the research process, is used to try to find out kind of some of those wants and needs early on. What kind of preferences they have, what kind of problems they're having that they would like to have solved through some type of service or product or combination. And those are things like focus groups or perhaps depth interviews that give us just an idea that we can then pursue further with perhaps more quantitative types of research. So there in one diagram, we can see kind of the function of marketing. What is marketing all about?